Bettany has opened up about how his difficult real-life experiences have influenced his acting work as he posed for a Suave magazine photo shoot. The actor, 51, admitted he can't switch his emotions on and off when filming tragic scenes and instead draws on his own experiences to replicate that raw emotion. His younger sibling Matthew died aged 8 after fracturing his skull in a freak accident when Paul was 16, and he said the devastating loss has influenced his acting. Speaking to Gentleman's Journal for a cover shoot, Paul said he finds himself picking at scabs when filming emotional scenes, particularly when he starred in Uncle Frank. The 2020 movie sees Paul star as Frank Bledsoe, who returns home for his father's funeral, and Paul previously admitted to taking his late brother's jumper on set with him to channel that grief. One heart-wrenching scene sees Paul gutturally sobbing in a graveyard, and the actor revealed he thought about his raw grief after losing Matthew while filming it. Some people have amazing access to their emotions, and can switch them on like that, and I'm just not good enough to do that, he explained. If I find myself in a scene that requires that, I find myself picking at scabs that I'd rather not pick at. Speaking about the graveyard scene in Uncle Frank, he added, and it's like, what am I doing? What am I doing? What the hell am I doing? Sat here in front of a graveyard, thinking about dead people in my life? Paul has previously confessed that he turned to alcohol and cocaine decades later to help him come to terms with Matthew's tragic death. Speaking of his loss in 2015, he said, "It was manic. I don't know if I was aware I was numbing myself at the time. I don't think there was anger. It was nobody's fault." The Avengers star previously admitted that the tragedy caused him to feel anxious following the birth of his own children, Stellan, 19, and Agnes, 11, who he shares with Jennifer Connelly. In an interview with the Times newspaper, he said, "I think the accident is the very center of my feeling that life is precarious, but I think him becoming better at it. As more years pass without another catastrophe, I realize that the worst-case scenario often doesn't happen. I am definitely feeling calmer on that, but don't think it will ever entirely leave. It's an indelible worry." Elsewhere in his interview with Gentleman's Journal, Paul spoke about how he copes with fame, describing it as an untrustworthy thing that comes and goes over the years. He spoke about the positive sides of fame, including meeting friendly and pleasant people and getting seated at better tables at restaurants, but said it also comes with its challenges. Paul described meeting people when he is out and about, saying he is aware that when he meets nervous fans, they aren't getting to know each other when they pose for a quick photograph. He recalled one time in particular when he had to quickly head home to Scotland after being told that his father was seriously ill. His father died in 2015. The star said he was standing distraught in the middle of New York and was planning his flight home to Scotland when a fan asked him for a selfie. Paul said the fan didn't see someone who was crying in the street, but the chance for a selfie, insisting the fan wouldn't have disturbed an upset person who isn't famous. Commenting on the challenges of fame, Paul said he tries not to find solace in it, as it is something that isn't consistent in life. As well as his candid interview, Paul also posed for an accompanying photo shoot with the magazine, where he sported an array of dapper ensembles. In one photograph, Paul sported dark jeans and a striped collared shirt, which he styled with a color-coordinated blazer. He leaned against a desk in front of a bookshelf in the snap, which also saw him sport a pair of round glasses. For another picture, Paul cut an equally smart figure in grey trousers and a black turtleneck top, which he wore underneath a black jacket. He read a newspaper as he posed for the outdoor snap, which saw him sporting brown sunglasses as he read a newspaper. In other suave shots, Paul sported an array of suitwear as he relaxed on a rooftop terrace and posed in front of mirrors. In his career, Paul has recently transformed into the iconic 1960s artist Andy Warhol as he is busy filming for his upcoming movie The Collaboration. Paul will reprise the role in the movie alongside Jeremy Pope, who will take on the role of creative Jean-Michel Basquiat. The film is based on the acclaimed play of the same title by four-time Oscar nominee Anthony McCarten, and looks into the unique friendship between the two. Paul and Jeremy both star in the play. The play is set in 1984, when Warhol and Basquiat were collaborating together. They both died later that decade. Basquiat, who had a short but illustrious professional career, is considered to be of the most significant painters of the 20th century as well as a cultural icon. The New York City artist died in 1988, aged 27, due to a heroin overdose. Meanwhile, Warhol was a visual artist, film director, and producer famous for leading the pop art movement and reproducing multiple screen prints of American icons such as Marilyn Monroe and Campbell's canned soup. His life was almost ended by an assassination attempt in 1968 by radical feminist writer Valerie Solanas, who shot him at his studio, known as The Factory. Though he was seriously wounded by the attack, he managed to survive. The artist passed away years later on February 22, 1987, at age 58, following complications from a gallbladder surgery. The drama depicts how the artists worked together in 1980s New York. Directed by Kwame Kwei-Armah, the original play imagines the conversations and conflicts between the artists as they collaborated on an exhibition. The play made its world premiere at London's Young Vic Theatre in February. Once production on the film has wrapped, the play will head to Broadway, with December 20 set as opening night, and Bettany and Pope returning to their roles.